Hello guys, it's Mr. Maximo here, Vinny Sandhu for the European Cricket Network with another match preview for a European Cricket Series match. And this is a preview for match 3 as part of our Powerplay Monday, where we are previewing every single match on the first day of the tournament. And this is a royal battle between Royal Roma and Royal Parma. This is coming to you from the Roma Spinachetto cricket ground in Italy, beginning Monday the 2nd of November at 12:15 p.m. GMT. That's 1:15 in Central Europe and 5:45 p.m. in India. Now, to catch this game, if you are in India, you can catch it on Fancode. If you're not in the subcontinent, you can catch it exclusively on Sportsflick Global as part of our new partnership. And don't forget to sign up with the promo code CRICKET to get 50% off your first month of Sportsflick. We're very excited about the partnership with Sportsflick. It'll see over 1,000 matches coming to you with their support. So make sure you get behind Sportsflick. And just a reminder, if you don't already, why don't you follow us on social media? Because as I always say, there is so much happening in the world of European cricket. We have a 7-day series there in Rome, and we're doing Powerplay Monday and Powerplay Thursday this week, previewing every single match on the first day of Group A and Group B action. So follow us at European Cricket, or you can follow me at Mr. Maximo. Don't forget to go to our website, europeancricket.com, for all the latest on the teams and players in this European Cricket Series. Let's have a look at what's coming your way from Rome. Day 1 of 7. You can see there 3 days of Group A matches and 3 days of Group B matches. And the 7th day is the finals. It's a double round robin format. So each team will play 6 matches and only the top 2 will make it through to the semi-finals, the top 2 from each group. So let's come to this match. It's match 3. Like I said, it's a royal battle between Roma and Parma, and we do have some likely lineups for you. Royal Roma will be led by Rajvinder Singh with Mubrak Hussain to be their keeper, while for Royal Parma, Sukhpal Singh will be their captain and Harkamal Singh will be behind the stumps. And Michael McCann, you're back again with some info on these teams. And how do you like this matchup between Royal Roma and Royal Parma? What's their form like coming into this tournament?
Yes, hello Vin. Hello everybody. Based on the seedings, one would suggest that these two are best placed to try and finish second behind Kingsgrove Milan. Kingsgrove Milan are the overwhelming favourites to win Pool A and are one of the 2 strong favourites alongside Bergamo United to win the tournament. But Padova, who are also in this pool, obviously have got some key players missing and haven't been that strong recently anyway. So it lines up that Royal Parma and Royal Roma are probably going to be the sides contesting for that second spot behind Kingsgrove Milan. And whoever wins this would be likely to take that second spot. So it could be the game that defines whether both teams reach the semi-finals. In terms of form, there's absolutely no doubt that Royal Parma are in a better place. They've only won 3 of their 8 T20s this year, but they had a fiendishly difficult pair of groups in the 2 T20 competitions. So in the T20 Open Championship, which is because of its structure, you end up with some quite uneven groups because of the way the draws are done. They finished 4th in a 5-team group of death, but they had Brescia and Kings 11 in that, and both of those teams went on to become the finalists in both the Coppa Italia and the T20 Championship. So right now are 2 of the very strongest teams in Italy. And then Jandra Brescia, who are also very strong, and people will remember from the 2019 European Cricket League where they made a very good impression. So that was a pretty fiendishly difficult group, and actually all 3 of those games, which they did lose, they took right to the wire. So it wasn't like they were uncompetitive in that pool at all. And then in the Coppa Italia, they again, unfortunately for them, because of the way the regionalised draws are done, it really doesn't help Royal Parma. They were in a group with Brescia and Jandra Brescia once more and finished behind them. So they haven't beaten any of those big sides yet, but they've consistently kept pushing them close, and they've either just fallen short in a few run chases, and then there's been a couple of times in the field where they've lost their discipline right at the death. The most notable game was a pool game against Jandra Brescia, where they only had to score 5 off the last over, and they had a bit of a nightmare and ended up losing that one. But they're a young side. They were only formed 2 years ago, and they're already competing on a good level with the strongest teams in Italian cricket. So I expect them to make a real impression here in Rome, and they would come into this game as the favourites against a Royal Roma side who, having also been founded in 2018, have not quite evolved as a team to that extent where they are challenging the top dogs of Italian cricket.
Yeah, and I do agree. It's a great experience, the European Cricket Series. It's great to see some new teams in Rome, and I think it's a great possibility for Royal Parma to impress in this tournament. Like you say, I have them just behind Kingsgrove Milan. Now let's have a look at Mr. Maximo's 11 to watch. Hopefully you find this information useful, particularly if you are participating in some fantasy cricket. And today, starting with Royal Roma, I have super highlighted Mubarak Hussain, the keeper. He's one of the best batsmen in the tournament. Like I said in my previous video, I've also got Dharamveer Kumar and Mohammed Bilal in there. I've got Rajvinder Singh, who's likely to bat 3 and can also bowl a couple of overs. I've got the king of sixes, Shoaib Awan, as well as Umar Shahzad, who is a left-arm opening bowler. And for Royal Parma, I have super highlighted their captain, Sukhpal Singh, as well as their keeper, Harkamal Singh. I've got Mehmed Javed in there, as well as Mehboob Ahmed and Rajmani Singh. What do you think, Michael, about my 11 to watch? And do you want to specifically mention any players in there?
I must say, we normally agree on most things regarding 11 to watches thing. Vin, I think your 11 to watch here is quite unbalanced, actually, based on the likely winners and stronger team in this game. Going back to what I said, I think Royal Parma start this match the deserved favourites of the two, and so to only have 5 of your 11 being Royal Parma players looks a little bit unbalanced to me. I'd probably go for 6 or 7 and look to add in a couple of Royal Palmer's all-rounders. They've got 4 strong all-rounders that are the fulcrum of their side that you can take your pick from if you're playing on fantasy cricket. But there's no particular selections from that I wouldn't say I'd particularly disagree with. Mubarak Hussain is one to watch. He's already got 2 centuries in domestic T20 competitions this season, so Royal Roma's batting is very dependent on him. Shoaib Awan can be sent up the order to pinch hit. He has the highest proportion of runs in sixes of any batsman in Italian domestic cricket in the last 2 years. So when he scores runs, it tends to be very quick and through Maximos, as you like to call them.
They are Maximo.
And Umar Shahzad as well is one to watch. He took a hat-trick in the first over in one match in the Italian competition this year. All clean bowled, which there's something about. We saw that clip from Australian cricket that went viral last week. There's something about an all clean bowled hat-trick that is
it's pure.
It's quite aesthetically pleasing, isn't it? But,
it is.
But yeah, that would be my point of view. But yes, the beauty of life is it's subjective, and we all have different opinions. But if I was picking this, I'd maybe go for a 7-4 or a 6-5 split in favour of Royal Parma.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there, actually, Michael. And I guess I've gravitated towards players that I think will bat high in the order and definitely bowl their overs, but you do make some good points there. Perhaps Shiraz Afzal or Atikur Rahman would be some good selections. And sometimes you might have a stronger team, but perhaps only 1 or 2 or 3 of their players really get a chance to contribute, because if they win a game without losing a wicket or with only 1 wicket, perhaps you might only have fewer high scoring kind of players from the winning team. So it can happen, but I do take your point, and this is all healthy debate, but we'd like to know what you think, and feel free to like this video and leave a comment. If you'd like to comment on my 11 to watch, if you think I've missed someone out, or if you agree with Michael, then don't comment. But we are going to go towards our prediction now for this game. It's match 3 of the tournament. And we do agree with what you said earlier, Michael. I think these 2 teams are reasonably well matched, and they're probably 2nd and 3rd. And don't forget, of course, they will play each other twice, because it's a double round robin in this tournament. So they'll play each other twice over the first 3 days of action. But in this one, I am going for the Bolters, Royal Parma. I do think they're a good young side, and they'll be too good for Royal Roma. But I do think Royal Roma will put up a good fight. I put Sukhpal Singh to be the star player, because I think he'll come in at first drop and can whack the ball around and also perhaps take a wicket or 2. So Royal Parma were my pick. How about you, Michael? Who are you going for?
I would agree entirely with that. I think Royal Parma deservedly start this game favourites based on what they've done in the last 2 years. The evolution for them in this competition is going to be, can they finally start beating the big teams, which would be Kingsgrove Milan in their pool, or Bergamo United in Pool B if they can get that far, the 2 favourites for the tournament. And of course, qualifying for the knockout stages of the ECS would be a very good start. They've got to win this game to do that. I think they probably will win this game, and I totally agree with your selection. You can't really go too wrong with picking the best all-rounder in the team that is favourite to win the game.
Yeah, and T10 cricket, it's a different beast. You really have no room for fear in your game. So sometimes I do like the impetuousness of youth in these T10 games because they really do need to play their shots. And players these days, they do practice those shots from a young age, don't they? The aggressive shots, and they practice range hitting and stuff like that. So I do like Royal Parma in this one. And isn't it different growing up in a T10 environment, the kind of way you learn to bat? It's quite unusual, isn't it?
Well, it's just relentless, isn't it? What you notice comparing the Italian T20 finals weekend that's just happened with the European Cricket Series in Rome of the T10 that's just about to get started, both at the same ground, is how slow T20 suddenly feels. To have a 6-over power play, the concept of middle overs where the ball might be knocked around compared to the sheer relentlessness of T10, where strike rate is... I mean, strike rate really should always be king in T20, but, average kind of still holds a statistical kind of spell over people in the way they think about things. But when it comes to T10, it's crash, crash, boom, boom. There's no time to hang about.
Yeah, definitely agree with everything you've said there, Michael. Well, thanks again for your input, and I'm sure we'll have you calling this match, the third match of Monday. We look forward to it.
My pleasure. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us here for our third match preview of Power Play Monday. And just a reminder to sign up for SportsFlick. If you are outside the subcontinent, you do want to catch this game, and you can cash in that offer for 50% off your first month with the promo code CRICKET. But for now, this is Mr. Maximo, Vinny Sandu for the European Cricket Network saying enjoy the game. We'll see you next time on ECN.